Are you considering moving to Tampa and wondering if it's a good place to raise a family? We're going to get into that right now. Thanks for tuning into my channel, Living in Tampa, where it's my goal to show you everything you need to know about eating, sleeping, playing, and living in the greater Tampa Bay area. If it's your first time to my channel, do me a favor, hit that little subscribe button and ring the bell so you'll be notified every time that I release a new video. So today's video, as promised, we are going to go into whether Tampa is a good place to raise a family or not. In my opinion, Tampa is a wonderful place to raise a family. Now, I have lived here for almost 17 years now. I have raised my family here, so I can speak from experience. When we first moved here, my children were like 4 years old, 6 years old, 11 years old, and 12 years old. So we had a wide range of ages because we have 4 kids. But we really have enjoyed raising our family here. Our kids now, 2 of them have graduated from the University of South Florida, and I have another one in college down in Miami and one last child at home. And we have just really enjoyed raising them here in the Tampa Bay area. When we first moved here, we didn't know anyone. And I have to tell you that the people in Florida are so welcoming. There are a lot of transplants here, people coming from all over the place. And I think there's a lot of people in that same boat that maybe they don't know anyone else here. And so people are very welcoming and they reach out, and it's very easy to make friends here. There are so many different groups around that you can join. And especially when you have children, it's so easy to get to know people. But anyway, today's video, I want to cover what I think are the top 5 reasons that make Tampa a great place to raise your family. So Tampa was recently ranked in the top 10 for best places to raise a family. And I think one of the main reasons behind that is the cost of living. Now, I have gone into the cost of living in the greater Tampa Bay area in a lot more detail in one of my other videos, so you might want to check that out. But let's just suffice it to say that in Tampa, the cost of living is about 5.6% lower than the national average. These are approximations, of course, but these are studies that have been done comparing prices here in, other metro areas. And Tampa is definitely more affordable than most places. I get a lot of visitors coming here from a lot of different states. I get people coming thinking about moving here, and I show them around, and they're always amazed at the price of our gas. For one, is always a lot cheaper than other places. The price of our groceries, restaurants, pretty much everything is just a little bit cheaper than everywhere else. Now, why is that important to you as a family? Well, of course, there's a lot of good that comes from having a little extra money, and especially when you have kids. I mean, kids are expensive. A lot of kids, when they get older, they want to play in the travel sports. That is very expensive. So if you're not paying as much for all your other things, you're going to have a little bit extra money to be able to do those things with your children. Not to mention extra vacations that you might be able to take. You'll be able to get a nice, larger home here for the money than you would in other places. So it's just going to make your style of living a little bit more comfortable when you're able to have your cost of living a little bit lower. And I think that's why that would be one of the best reasons that Tampa is a good place to raise your family. Number 2 would be the schools. Schools are so very important to so many people, and for good reason. I mean, you want your kids to be very well educated. And I'm so happy to say that we have some of the best schools in the United States right here in the greater Tampa Bay area. We've got Plant High School down in South Tampa. It's consistently ranked one of the top schools in the U.S. But that is not the only great school that we've got here. We have many, many schools that are A-rated. We've got a lot that are in Tampa. We've got Sickles High School District. We've got Steinbrenner High School District in Lutz. And then if you go up just into the suburbs, into the northern areas, north of Tampa, in Pasco County, we've got pretty much, 5 or 6 different A-rated school districts. It's very easy to find great homes in a nice school district in Tampa, and that makes it a really great place to raise your family. The other thing that we also have a lot of that people don't realize, we have charter schools here. We have magnet schools. We have a lot of private schools, and we do have school choice. So even if you buy a home in an area that's not in a great school district, you can do school choice and send your child to a school that is rated highly. So there's a lot of different ways that you can get a quality education for your child here in the greater Tampa Bay area. And that's another reason that I think Tampa is a great place to raise your family. The number 3 reason that Tampa Bay is a great place to raise your family is our crime rate. Now, Tampa's crime rate is about 18% lower than the national average. Tampa, I feel, is a very safe area. I have made another video specifically about Tampa and is Tampa safe. I feel very safe pretty much in the majority of Tampa. As with any large city or medium-sized city, however you want to characterize Tampa, there are going to be pockets and areas that maybe aren't as safe as others. But for the most part, I feel that Tampa is very safe and the crime rate is very low. A lot of the crime that you see will be, maybe car break-ins or things like that. There's not a lot of violent crime in this area. The other thing that I will say is in the suburbs, especially if you are moving here for your family and you're going to raise your family here, you're most likely going to be in the suburbs. And in those areas, I feel that it is extremely safe. There are a lot of large communities, master planned communities that are almost like little cities in and to themselves. And you pretty much stay in your little area. You've got everything that you need there. You've got beautiful amenities with resort style pools. You've got your shopping close by, and all of those areas are super nice and the crime rates are very low, and I feel that they are very safe, which is another reason that Tampa Bay is a wonderful place to raise your family. Another reason that Tampa is a great place to raise your family is we have some of the shortest commute times in the nation. On average, the commute times here are about 24 minutes for most people. That is very low. Let me tell you, I get people moving here from Chicago, New York, New Jersey, California, all these other states. Most of them tell me they have at least an hour commute. I cannot even imagine that. In Tampa, we've got some great roads. I think when I go to other areas, I see how bad some of the roads are with all the potholes and just constant construction. Now, don't get me wrong, we have plenty of construction going on here in Tampa too, but I feel like the traffic situation isn't near as bad as some of the larger cities. We've got a lot of alternatives for you to get north and south. We've got a toll road, we've got I-75, we've got I-275, we've got Dale Mabry. So you're not just confined by one way to get from the north to the south. And I think that makes a big difference. Also, in Tampa, you're going to see that people work in a lot of different areas. So you're not necessarily going to have a ton of traffic going to the same destination, which helps keep those commute times low. And what's great about having a low commute time is that gives you more time with your family, less time in your vehicle where you're stressed. Also, you're not spending as much money on gas. And it just makes for a better life experience, in my opinion. So having those shorter commute times definitely contributes to making Tampa a great place to raise your family. Another reason that Tampa is such a great place to raise your family is that there's so much to do. So there's so many parks around here. We are so lucky with what we have here in Tampa. Also, the great weather. You get to enjoy everything year round. It's pretty much like you're on vacation all the time. We are so blessed to have Busch Gardens right here. I mean, most people, anywhere you live in Tampa, it's going to be maybe 30 minutes for you to get to Busch Gardens. You can get an annual pass. The kids love that. There's something for kids of all ages there. They have a section for the smaller ones that has like a miniature little dinosaur egg kind of Ferris wheel and, all the little things that kids love. And then, of course, for your more adventurous older children, they've got the crazy roller coasters. They've got the wonderful shows, the interactive exhibits with the animals. There is just so much to do there. If you get an annual pass and you go every weekend, you probably still won't experience everything that Busch Gardens has to offer. And right next to that is Adventure Island. So in the summer when it's hot and you don't feel like walking around a theme park. You can go to Adventure Island and enjoy all the water slides and all that fun stuff. And then we're only an hour and a half tops to Orlando. So you've got, Disneyland, Disney World and Universal and all of those fun things over there to do. But if you're not looking to spend a whole lot of money, that's the other thing that I love about Tampa, or there's so many free things that you can take your kids to do. The obvious one being you can go to the beach. I could go to the beach every weekend, and that is just always fun for me. But there's also so many parks here. We really have done a good job in the Tampa area of preserving nature. So you're going to see so many parks everywhere that have trails. They've got pavilions so you can grill out there. You can have birthday parties out there. They have nature walks that you can take. A lot of these parks will have kayaks that you can rent. You can go up to Weeki Wachee and you can see the mermaid show. We've also got a lot of cultural things that you can participate in. If you go down to Tampa, we've got the Straws where they do all kinds of shows. You've got St. Pete and everything over there. That is so exciting. The pier is such a fun way to spend the day. Literally you could think of a new thing to do every weekend. It is like you are on vacation year-round when you're living in the Tampa Bay area, and your kids are going to have so many great memories. They're going to love growing up here. I really, really think that Tampa is one of the best places in the United States to raise a family. I'm going to cover one more that I wasn't planning on including. I probably should have included this with the schools section. We have what is called Florida Bright Futures. If you have not heard of this, you definitely want to look it up if you are considering a move to Florida. So if your child is a good student, does well in school, they have to get a certain GPA, they have to score a certain score on the ACT or SAT, and I'm not going to go into specifics because that does change from time to time. You'll just have to look that up. Also, if they do a certain number of community hours, they can qualify for the Florida Bright Future Scholarship. Now, my daughter was able to do that, and it has been amazing. The state of Florida is literally paying all of her tuition at her college. So there are many public and state universities in Florida, and if your child attends there and they get the Florida Bright Futures, they can either qualify for a 75% scholarship or 100% scholarship. It is really awesome and such a wonderful benefit to raising your child in the state of Florida. So if you're considering moving to the greater Tampa Bay area, then please reach out to me. You can give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email. However you want to communicate with me is fine. If you've got any questions about Tampa or about raising your family in Tampa, please reach out to me. I hope that you found this video useful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.